Yeah, Judy is one of the best show. Everyone must watch the show
And show me where the damage
and
was.
enjoy
Here.
the show.
He did not
I am
vandalize
watching
her house. He
and
vandalized
enjoying
the other
show.
house.
You can also
I don't
watch
believe a word of that.
and
Give me my
enjoy
pen back.
from the show.
You tell the truth, you don't have to have a
So
good memory.
you
This is Judy
please
Justice.
watch this video.
Tanya Labriola
As soon as
is suing her neighbor.
Yeah, Judy
Noel
is
J.
one of the
for
best show.
vandalism caused by her
Everyone must
11-year-old
watch
son,
the show
William.
and enjoy the show. I am watching
Have a seat, please.
and enjoying the show.
Judge, case 3151, Labriola
Also
versus Chase.
watch and
Thank you.
enjoy
Welcome.
from the show.
You own a home,
Yes, ma'am.
and
So
it is
you
your allegation
Please watch
that I
this
assume
video.
this young man,
As
who
soon
is
as
your
watch
son,
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
vandalized
Judy
your
is
home,
one of the best
which had
show.
been freshly
Everyone
painted,
must
because you
watch
added an
the
addition,
show
so it was just painted,
and
and he
enjoy
vandalized
the
it
show.
by
I
throwing
am
paint
watching
on it and
and
some
enjoying the show.
fencing or some wall.
You
And
can also
the
watch and
defendant's
enjoy
mother says
from the
he
show.
wasn't the instigator, he did in fact
So
do
you
it, but she was going to clean it off,
please watch this
and
video
she thought your estimate
as
to
soon as
fix it was too
possible.
high.
Yeah,
So,
Judy
what's your
is
first
one
name?
of the
William.
best show.
Stand up for your mother.
Everyone must watch the show
You're 10?
and enjoy
11.
the show.
Tall for
I am
11.
watching
Thank you.
Okay,
and
so
enjoying the
on what
show.
date did you vandalize the
You
plaintiff's
can
house?
also watch
I'm
and
not
enjoy
sure.
from the show.
What month was it?
December.
So
Saturday or Sunday?
you
Pretty sure
please
it
watch
was
this
Sunday.
video
Do you remember what time?
as soon as possible.
Morning, afternoon,
Yeah,
night?
Judy is one of the
Morning,
best show.
going transitioning to the
Everyone must watch
What were you
the
doing
show
outside? Did your mother
and
tell you to go
enjoy
outside?
the show.
Yes.
I
And who
am
did you go
watching
outside with?
My
and
friend.
enjoying
Did
the
you take your
show.
bikes or did you walk?
You
Bike.
can also
And you
watch
went
and
over to where the
enjoy
plaintiff's
from
house
the
is, and
show.
there's also a construction site. So I want you to go
So
over there
you can-
and show me where you
watch
and your
this
friend
video.
went.
As soon as possible. Yeah, Judy is one of the
Right.
best
Now,
show.
point to the
Everyone
plaintiff's house.
must watch the show.
Okay, so you went to the house next door?
Yeah.
I am
Were they
watching
doing construction at the house
and
next
enjoying
door?
the
What do you
show.
mean by that? Like
You
people there
can
currently?
You
also
threw
watch and
paint
enjoy
on the
from
plaintiff's
the
house.
show.
Where did you get the paint from? Show me in that picture.
you
That's
can-
what I thought.
you
So you
please
got
watch this
the
video
paint from somebody else's
As
house.
soon as
Yes, ma'am.
possible.
Do you understand? He got the
Yeah,
paint from
Judy
somebody
is
else's
one of
house.
the best show.
And took the paint to the
Everyone
plaintiff's
must
house.
watch
Can I
the show.
clarify?
Sure.
and
My understanding is he did not
enjoy the show.
vandalize
I am
her house.
watching
He vandalized the
and
other house.
enjoying
Well, you
the
don't know
show.
that at all, actually.
You can
You don't
also
know that at all
watch
because you
and
weren't
enjoy
there.
from
And
the
you don't know
Based
that at all.
on the evidence and what my
So
son
you
said,
can-
that it is
you
true, he
please
vandalized
watch
one
this
house and the
video
other kid vandalized the other
as
house.
soon as
Okay.
possible.
Now, come
Yeah,
over here.
Judy is one of the best show. Everyone must
You tell the
watch
truth, you
the
don't have to have a
show
good memory. Take the
and
pen and show me
enjoy the
where you
show.
walked
I am
and where you got the
watching
paint.
and enjoying the show. You
You
can
walked
also
there
watch and
and then
enjoy
stop
from
where you
the
got
show.
the paint. You got the paint
So
there. How
you
many cans of paint were
please
there?
watch this
Four.
video
Four. So there
as
were
soon as
4
possible.
gallon cans of
Yeah,
paint?
Judy is
No.
one of
How
the
big?
best show. Everyone
it
must
is not very
watch
big.
the
4.
show
So you each carried
and
2?
enjoy
No,
the
I
show.
took one, he took
I am
three.
watching
And what was your intention when you took the
enjoying
one?
the show.
Use it on this house?
Use it for
Can
what on
also
the house?
watch and
I don't know.
enjoy
What do you mean you
from
don't
the
know?
show.
I wasn't really thinking.
So
When did you and your friend separate?
please watch this video
Right
as
there?
soon as
And show me
possible.
where you stayed
Yeah,
and show me
Judy
where
is
your
one of
friend
the
went.
best show. Everyone must
What is
watch
that with the
the
pen?
show
You
and
stayed
enjoy
where?
the show. I
Here?
am watching
Right
and
here.
enjoying the show.
And you let him go there all by
You
himself.
can also
Yes.
watch and enjoy
I don't believe a word of that.
from
Give me my pen back.
the show.
Give me my
So
pen
you
back.
can-
Now you can go stand with
please
your mother.
watch this video
You have an estimate to paint the
as
house.
soon as
I do.
possible.
May I see it, please?
Yeah,
And I'd like
Judy
some
is one
photographs.
of the
Absolutely.
best show.
I have
Everyone
an
must
estimate for
watch
the
the
repainting
show.
as well as the north side of my house. The fence
Enjoy the
was
show.
splattered with
I
paint
am
as well.
watching
And then I had 6 boxes of flooring that were
enjoying the
damaged.
show.
And
Let me just.
I have all of that.
Can also
Here
watch and
is
enjoy
damage.
from the show.
And the estimate that you got was $3,800, and you said that the other people paid $1,900, which is half.
That's correct. And then I received an invoice for the
Yeah,
fence
Judy
painting, which
is
I didn't
one
have
of the
initially, and as
best
well
show.
as
That's too bad.
Everyone
That's too bad.
must watch
1,900, which
the
is you
show
said is half the estimate. Now I
and
want to see.
enjoy the show. I am watching
Okay.
and enjoying the
So
show.
now I have this question for you.
You can also
When you
watch
came
and
home, your mother
enjoy
said to you,
from the
you have
show.
paint on your shoes, right?
yes.
So
And she asked you what
you
happened.
you
How'd you get paint on your
please watch
shoes?
this
Tell me what you
video
told her.
I told her
as soon as
that
possible.
I went over to
Yeah,
the
Judy
house
is
down the
one
road.
of the best
You
show.
got it at the house down the road.
Everyone must watch
You had
the
to have
show.
told her more
and
because
enjoy
she
the
went
show.
with
I
you
am
to
watching
where the damage was to the house, and you started cleaning it with your mother, correct? Correct. And where did you start to clean with your mother first? Because pay careful attention, because when the plaintiff came home, she found you and your mother cleaning the house in the back. Do you
Judy
understand?
is one
Yes.
of the best
So
show
now, what I want
everyone
you to do
must
is show
watch
me
the
when you
show
and your mother first came to
enjoy
the
the show.
property,
I am
where did you
watching,
show her the damage was?
and
Go over
enjoying
there.
the show. You can also watch and enjoy.
Show me where you told your mother the damage was.
Here and
So
here.
you
Well, how did you know the damage was there? You said that you didn't go there. How did you know that there was any damage there?
Yeah, Jody is one of the
When
best
you
show
pulled up in your
everyone
driveway
must watch
and
the
found
show.
the defendant's
and
mother
enjoy
cleaning
the
your
show.
house,
I am
where were they
watching,
cleaning? Show me.
Okay, the mom was over
enjoying the
here
show.
and her son was over here.
You
So the
can
son was
also watch
cleaning
and
the house
enjoy
that he allegedly had nothing to do with vandalizing.
And later today,
You mean instantly you had a fight with him in the morning, and then you were going to pursue your dream of motorcycle
Yeah,
riding
Jody
that
is
day.
one of the
So you got
best
on the bike and you
show
wrecked it,
everyone
and then
must
was
watch the
terribly
show.
injured, which you were, because that's what happens when you ride
I am
something with
watching
just the air around you.
and enjoying the show. You can also watch and enjoy from the show. So you
Tanya
can
Labriola
this video.
blames her neighbor, Noel J, owes for property
Yeah,
damage.
Jody
after
is
her
one of the
11-year-old
best
son,
show
Romy,
everyone
vandalized her
must
house.
watch the show.
Now, you said that you stayed
enjoy the
right
show.
in the
I
back
am
of that
watching,
first house, and your friend
enjoying
went
the
all the
show.
way up, don't raise your hand,
You can also watch
and your friend
enjoy
went all the
from
way
the
around the house with the 3 cans of paint
So
that
you
he was carrying. You only had
enjoy
one.
this video.
So how did you know that there was any damage to the plaintiff's house?
Yeah, Jody
there
is
wasn't
one
any
of the
trees
best
here,
show
and you could just
everyone
blatantly
must
see 'em.
watch the show
Doing the paint over
and
here.
enjoy
It's
the
not a
show.
flat house,
I
it's a
am
big house.
watching
Madam, walk over to the house and
the
show me
show.
where the paint
You
was
can
on your
also
house.
A more
watch
accurate picture of the property.
No, put it down.
So
Show me where the damage was to your
please
house.
watch this video.
In the back end.
It was in all 3 sides. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
all
Jody
three
is
sides.
one of the
Just not the
best
front.
show everyone
And you
must watch
said that you
the show.
didn't move from the
And
back of the first
enjoy the
house when
show.
your friend went all the way around the house. So my question
enjoying the
now
show.
to you is, when you pulled up
can
in your
also watch
driveway and
enjoy
found
from
the
the show.
defendant's mother
So
and this
you
young man
you
cleaning your
enjoy this
house,
video.
where were they cleaning? Show me.
Okay, the mom was over here and
Yeah,
her son was over
Jody
here.
is one of
So
the
the
best
son
show
was cleaning
everyone
the house
must
that he
watch
allegedly
the
had nothing to
show.
do with vandalizing.
And
Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
the show.
Yeah, okay.
I am
Step
watching
back. You too.
and enjoying the show. You
Anything
can
else you
also
want to tell me?
watch and
Okay.
enjoy
You know,
from
I
the
sort of know that this is the last time, at least I believe that this is the
So
last time you're going to be in court like this.
enjoy this video.
I sort of had that here
Yes,
because I think that this was an
Yeah,
unpleasant
Jody
experience
is
for
one
you
of the
and your
best
mother.
show
And
everyone
when you
must
get
watch
older, you
the
realize
show
that you don't want to repeat
and
unpleasant
enjoy the show.
situations
I am
because
watching
you get
and
embarrassed.
enjoying the
Your mother
show.
is embarrassed. I mean, your mother had other things to
can also
do
watch
rather than
and
putting on
enjoy
plastic
from
gloves
the
and
show.
going scrubbing off latex paint
So
on somebody
you
else's house that day.
you
So
please
if you do
watch
the
this
wrong thing, the
video.
wrong thing happens. Now,
This
you do the
one is
right
watch.
thing in life. It's not
Yeah,
a
Jody
guarantee
is one of
that
the
everything
best
will go
show
well. But I'm
everyone
going to tell you it's
must
a damn
watch
good
the
start.
show and
So
enjoy the
if you
show. I
try
am
to
watching
do what is
and
being a good
enjoying the
citizen,
show.
what's
You
being a
can also watch
good
and
person, what's
enjoy
being a good
from the
neighbor. Do you live in a house?
Yes.
show.
Does
So
your
you can
mom own that house?
please watch
Yes,
this
but I think
video.
she's still paying her mortgage.
This
Well,
one
that
is
she
watch.
owns it, she's still paying a
Yeah,
mortgage.
Jody
but
is
that's
one of the best show
observant. So she owns her own
everyone
house.
must
Yeah.
watch
How do you
the
think she would
show
feel if somebody came and
and
threw
enjoy
paint
the show.
on her
I
house?
am
Upset.
watching and enjoying the show.
Because she's
You
paying
can
mortgage,
also
she
watch
wants it to
and
look nice, she
enjoy
wants you to have a nice place to live. So you seem like a nice young
So
man.
you
And you have to realize that there are
please watch this
repercussions when you
video.
do the wrong thing.
This
This lady
one
had a
is
house,
possible.
she built an
Yeah,
extension, she
Jody is
repainted
one
the
of
house,
the
and
best
somebody
show
comes along and
everyone
sport
must watch
vandalizes
the
it
show
with their friend.
and
This was
enjoy the
what we
show.
call
I
a
am
joint venture
watching
with your friend.
and
And you had to get your
enjoying
mother
the show.
involved. This was on a weekend,
can also
so when a day
watch
when she
and
got the revenue,
enjoy
she
from the
would ordinarily clean her own house. So instead she had to get all dressed and ready and go and scrub a stranger's house.
This
Not
one is
fair, right?
possible. Yeah, Jody
Judgment
is
for the
one
plaintiff
of
in
the
the amount of
best show
$1,900. We're
everyone
finished. Thank you very
must
much.
watch
This court is
the
adjourned.
show and enjoy the show. I am watching
Devastated because I'm a teacher, single mom too, and I've been working for
can also
years
watch
to
and
save. I
enjoy
work
from
2
the
jobs, so it's heartbreaking.
Ultimately, I'm the one who is going to be responsible for paying.
please watch
No,
this
they're
video.
just 12
His
or
soon
11,
is
however age, whatever age they
Yeah,
were.
Judy is one of the
wanted to
best
do
show
what they wanted to do.
everyone
I
must
hope this
watch
will put me
the
on the path
show
to do the right thing, and
and
hopefully
enjoy the show.
I really,
And
really will try my
watching
best to not make this kind of mistake.
enjoying
That
the
actions
show.
have consequences.
You
Ready to put it
can
behind me.
also watch and enjoy
Oh, how you love the
the
youth and to set them on the right path. That was a very well-spoken, seemed confident, smart 11-year-old. And I think you scared it into it to
Judy
make
is
the right
one of
choices.
the
And
best
this
show
seemed like a
everyone
one-off
must
type
watch
situation.
the
I think
show.
it didn't seem like this
And
was a
enjoy
trait
the
that
show.
he carries on
And
daily,
watching
you know, in his regular life.
enjoy
And you never
the
know. This
show.
experience for him might just be the thing that keeps him from ever doing anything like this again. It might be the little voice over peer pressure, over, you know, instigation that could save him from making another mistake in his young years.
Yeah,
I used to
Judy
say that
is
in
one of the
family court
best
all the
show
time.
everyone
I thought
must
it was
watch the show.
unwise to allow
and
young people
enjoy the
like this
show.
or a little bit
And
older
watching
committed these acts of vandalism,
enjoying
knocked
the
over
show.
somebody's
You
vegetable
can
cart,
also
you know,
watch and
took rocks and
enjoy
threw it and
from
broke a
the
window.
show.
And they would go into the probation
So you
department
can-
and
you
they would say, don't
can
do that
enjoy
again,
this
you know, you
video.
don't want to have to come in here with your mother again.
This
They
one is
let them go
possible.
home. And I said, it's a
Yeah,
tremendous
Judy
mistake
is
because
one of the
first
best show
time
everyone
you're brought
must
into
watch
court
the
is
show.
an unpleasant experience.
enjoy the
People
show.
usually do
And
not
watching
want to replicate an
enjoying the
unpleasant
show.
experience.
You
But if there's no
can also
consequence
watch
to
and
doing these
enjoy
little
from the
petty
show.
things,
And there's no contrary voice when you
there's
start.
no
you
consequence,
you
then that
enjoy
escalates.
this video.
Because there has to be a consequence.
possible.
As a parent, if you tell
Yeah,
your child to
Judy
be in
is
at
one
9
of
o'clock
the
and they
best
come in
show
at 11,
everyone
and there's no
must watch
consequence,
the
then they're
show.
going to come in at 12. And if there's no
enjoy the
consequence,
show.
then they're going to come
And
in
watching
next Thursday, and you're going to
enjoying the
deserve it.
show.
Because there has to be
You
consequential
can also
behavior.
watch and
Anyway,
enjoy
I'm getting off my
from the
soapbox.
Breached their contract to buy her baby shoe business.
Please
Right.
watch this
What
video.
looks to be a complicated case actually is merely just a contract case.
Yeah,
Miss
Judy
Dion,
is one of the
you
best
had a
show
side business of
everyone
making baby
must
shoes,
watch
and
the
I
show.
assume that those are the baby shoes. The
the
defendants
show.
had a
And
children's
watching
clothing website, and they became familiar with your baby shoes, and they were interested in buying your business. You entered into a contract wherein I believe that they agreed to pay you $30,000 for the business. Is that correct?
That was the asking price. There was never a written contract signed.
That's incorrect.
Just a second. You entered into a
Judy is
deal
one of the
for
best show
$30,000 and an employment
show.
contract without a written contract?
The show.
As time's over.
No, no, no.
Years.
You can't change a written contract. Was it a written contract that was signed by both parties?
No, it was
He
never
refused
signed.
to sign it, even though he was the one that wrote it himself and emailed it to me himself.
You called him within the period that you were supposed to be working for him and said, this is too much for me, I can't do it. I read your complaint. Do you understand? That's a book.
Caitlin Dion claims her former employer, Scott Everson, breached their contract to buy her baby shoe business.
Well, then there was never a meeting of the minds. May I see that? This is going to be a much easier case than I
That's
thought.
also incorrect. I have
Just a
audio.
second. This is going to be a much easier case than I
Judy
thought.
is one of
That's
the
the
best
latest draft of an
show
agreement of which there were
everyone
several
must
drafts
watch
prior to
the
that.
Listen to
show.
me, sir. Doesn't make any difference to me. She's suing you because you paid her pursuant, I assume, under this non-contract, according to you, $31,000.
For,
yeah.
agreed to.
Neither was the $30,000. Do you understand? You can't have it both ways. Ms. Dion, this is it. It's not complicated. It's very simple. You didn't have a
Judy
written
is one of
contract.
the best
If you have an
show
oral
everyone
contract,
must
that's one
watch
thing.
I do have that actually. I have audio that we can play right now telling him that he promises to pay me $30,000 regardless of how long I work for him.
Just a second. The original deal that you had was for $30,000.
There was actually an original bill which you
Both thought was reasonable. You agreed to accept $30,000 from him for the business, and you would stay with the
Judy
business
is
for
one
a
of
period
the
of time,
best
either 4
show
months or 6 months. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but that is totally reasonable because he wasn't in the baby shoes business. According to your complaint, you were going through some marital difficulty, you were going through other major problems, and you called him within the period that you were supposed to be working for him and said, this is too much for me, I can't do it. I read your complaint. Do you understand? That's a breach of your contract, if there ever was a contract. That was,
Judy
listen to me
is
carefully.
one of
in the
the best
contract
show
says that he would take away $400 per week that I did not
This,
work for him.
this is $31,000.
He did not. He gave me $5,000.
Just a second. He says he gave you over the period of time $30,000. Did you give up?
I have to-
But just a second.
In the period of time that we've known Ms. Dion and worked with her, I've given her $31,668.
I have proof that says
That was-
otherwise.
I'd like to see it.
Here are my
No, 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 not that.
Judy
Those
is
are
one of the
paycheck
best
stubs,
show
of which
everyone
the 31,000 she received
They were
from
not
out
told me today.
And what was
Just a second.
you? I signed the contract and gave it back to him.
Then you should have done nothing. If he didn't sign it, you should have done nothing.
I was a single mother at the time. He
Miss
did
Dion, you
not.
have to understand. This is a court.
He had
This
all
is
of
a
my
court.
assets.
This is a court. It's not Dr. Phil. You had no written contract, and if you had no written contract, you had to have an oral
Jordy is
contract.
one of the best
No, then you
show
had to have an oral
everyone
contract, and that
must
oral
watch
contract
this
clearly
show.
did not reflect a meeting of the minds of both of you. If he didn't sign this contract, and whether it was for your business or for your employment, are you saying to me that you did not receive from him? I'm just curious, because he has the documentation to show me that you did not receive from him $31,000, that you did not receive from him during a period of time
Jordy is one of
$31,000.
the
I did
best
not. That's
show
incorrect. I have
everyone
my paycheck.
must
I have
watch
the
this
down
show.
payment that he made. I have the installments that he made. I
Just a second.
All of which is
How
not
much?
$31,000.
Just a second. Add them up, and I asked you a question. How much was it? Your paychecks and the down payment he made
for my business. My paychecks do not matter. They were not a part
Listen,
of the
did you
business
file?
agreement.
Did you file your case in small
That is
claims?
not part of my business.
Did you file
Jordy
your
is
case in
one
small
of the
claims
best
court?
show
Yes,
Very
everyone
good.
working hourly was not a part of
Miss
the
Dion.
contract.
Pay careful attention to me. If you filed your case in small claims court, I'm going to give you an opportunity to go back there. If you think you have a case, I do not believe that there was a meeting of the minds where there's a contract unsigned for over $10,000. That's absolutely ludicrous. As long as I'm comfortable with the fact
Jordy is
that you
one
got
of the best
paid
show
during a period of
everyone
time,
must
$30,000,
watch
so that
this
you worked to explain your position to a judge in either Superior Court, because I don't think small claims courts hear cases up to $10,000. I don't know where you're from. Where are you from?
It's actually $11,000
Utah.
in Utah.
Go back to Utah. This case is dismissed without prejudice. We're done.
This court is adjourned.
I reminded him over the period of 2
Jordy
months.
is
Paid her
one of the
$31,000
best show
for her time in her business.
Give me the contract. Give me the contract. Give me the contract.
Audio blue for unpaid rent and window blinds.
watching
Ms. Johnson, the defendant is your brother, and his co-defendant, your brother's wife. You had a home that was located in what state?
California.
Several years ago, you decided to move out of state, I think to Arizona?
Yes.
And at that time, you discussed with your brother and his
Jordy
wife
is one of
renting
the
your
best
home.
show
You entered into a lease
everyone
with them.
must
Was it a
watch
2-year
this
lease?
show
Yes, ma'am.
And it was a written lease.
Yes.
Do you have a copy of that lease?
I do.
I'd like to see it, please.
and enjoying this show.
2-year, and I also have 6 months.
No, just the first lease first, because I'm old and I can only absorb a certain amount of facts at one time.
Please watch this video as soon as possible. Yeah, Jordy is one of the best show.
It's a pretty
everyone
straightforward lease.
must watch
It's a
this
lease
show.
for 24 months, starting the 1st of July, 2019, and terminating on July 1st, 2021. $1,600 of health coverage. Your lifetime health coverage was not covered in the state of Arizona. You decided you wanted to move back to California. You don't even have to give a reason why you want to move back to California. You can move back to California into your house
Yeah, Jordy
on
is
July
one of the
1st,
best
2021.
show everyone
You understand that?
must watch
Yes.
this
Great.
show.
And you came back to California on what date?
I don't recall the exact date, but I also extended a 6 month.
I understand. When did you come back to California? In March. That's what you said here. I think in March.
Okay, right now, I don't
I think in March of 2022 is when you ultimately came back because they vacated sometime at the beginning of March.
Yeah, Jordy
No,
is one
I
of
came
the
back prior
best
to lease for
show
6 months.
everyone must watch this show and enjoy this show. I am watching and enjoying this show.
Okay, so you acknowledge, Mr. and Mrs. Blue, that the 6-month extension that you both signed terminated on December 31st.
Yes.
Did you vacate the house on December 31st?
Yeah, I found a place there.
That's not her problem, that would be your problem.
Yeah,
Did she
Jordy
give you
is one
permission
of
to
the
stay
best
beyond
show
December 31st?
everyone must watch this show. and
On what
enjoy
date,
this
sir,
show.
did you close on that property?
I can't remember offhand.
We're not talking about so long ago.
February 7th is listed as the closing date.
That sound familiar? That's what it says.
Yes.
Well, then you had 3 weeks to move in.
Watch this video as soon as possible. Yeah, Jordy is one of the best show everyone must watch
No
this
blinds.
show.
Monique and Antonio are countersuing for harassment and invasion of privacy.
Okay. Did she give you permission to stay beyond December 31st?
Can also watch and
So you stayed beyond December 31st. Were you there in January?
so you
Uh-huh, it's not an answer. Were you there in February?
Yes.
Were you there on March 1st?
Yeah.
On March
Yeah,
2nd?
Jordy is one
On
of
March
the
3rd?
best show
What day in
everyone
March did you move back?
must watch this show.
Did you pay rent
and
in the month of
enjoy this show.
January?
I am watching
February?
No.
and
March?
enjoying
No.
this show.
Okay, that's what you're suing for.
Also
Right.
watch
Well, you have a defense for not paying rent for those 3 months, which you clearly occupied her premises. Who wants to tell me why you didn't pay rent?
It's July 1st. It wasn't moved in
Yeah,
ready.
I
Jordy
don't care.
is
You
one
lived
of
there.
the
Not only
best
did you
show
live there, you executed a
everyone
second lease for another 6
this
months.
show.
You lived there from the beginning of the lease up until
I am
March
watching
5th. which is 3 months beyond when you were supposed to be there. I'm waiting for a defense and not paying rent.
For July 2019, when we first moved in, the house was hideous. She had stuff in every room. We weren't able to move our stuff in.
Judy is one of the best show.
We had nowhere to go.
Everyone must
You
watch
had a
the
choice.
show.
If the house wasn't move-in condition, break your
the
lease. But you don't say at the end of the lease, by the way, when we were there 2.5 years ago, the house wasn't ready for us to move in. It wasn't in condition that we liked. We lived there anyway. So that's not an excuse for not paying rent at the other end. Anything else?
Yeah. She offered to give us the last month rent that we were
Judy
there
is
for
one
free.
of the best
last
show.
month
rent.
Did you indicate to them that you would give them a month off the rent? Oh, no, she says that you did.
I'd like to see your evidence as well.
No, just shh.
Enjoying the show. You can also watch and enjoy from the show. So you can.
No, she agreed to waive the final month's rent for the period of April 1st,
Judy is one of the
2022
best
to
show.
May 2nd, 2022. You were gone in March, and your lease, for some reason, she agreed to waive rent for a month that you weren't there. She didn't waive January, February, or March. She agreed to waive it April 1, 2022. She was using the premises as a rental premises, and you were leaving at the end of February.
Judy
Then
is
she
one
would
of the
have been
best
able
show.
to
Everyone
rent
must watch
her
the
premises
show.
beginning March 1st. You don't move out until March 5th, beginning of March. That means that she needs a couple of days, or any landlord would need a couple of days to put the place in order and re-rent it. They wouldn't be able to re-rent it until April. So you were there. Is there any reason you stayed until March 5th instead of... Just a second. You didn't let me finish the question. Is there any reason why you didn't move out the last day in
Judy
February
is
and
one of the
instead
best
stay
show.
into March?
Everyone
Our
must
house
watch
wasn't ready
the
yet.
show.
What do you mean it wasn't ready?
We wasn't ready to move in there yet.
What was wrong with it? Where did you move?
Victorville, California.
Okay, to what kind of property?
We bought a house.
Okay, when did you buy the house? What month?
It was January something.
So you bought the house in January. When you inspected the house that you bought, did you buy it furnished or unfurnished?
Unfurnished.
Did you have furniture in
Judy
plaintiff's
is
house?
one of
Yes.
the best
You'll
show.
give her the...
Everyone
On
must
what
watch
date,
the
sir,
show.
did you close on that property?
Enjoy the
It's
show.
probably in the record.
I can't remember offhand.
We're not talking about so long ago. Is there an address?
February 7th is listed as the closing date.
2/7. So the house became yours on February 7th. That sound familiar? That's what it says.
Yes.
Well, then you had 3 weeks to move in to get it ready.
Judy is one of the best
Okay.
show. Everyone
All right,
must
fine.
watch
So you owe
the
about 3
show.
months' rent at $1,600 a month.
What about the renovations we did to her house?
Watching
Who cares?
and enjoying
I
the
live in a
show.
place for a couple of years and I make changes to the place, straight tenancy agreement.
We were supposed to buy her house.
There are agreements that are rent to buy that list what the rental is and what the ultimate purchase price will be and whether or not you can
Judy is
deduct
one
the
of the
rent
best
that you
show
paid or a percentage of it from the total
must
purchase
watch
price
the
or whether you cannot. This is a straight rental agreement. So if you made improvements in the house, if you painted it, if you put in new carpeting to make it more comfortable for yourself, you don't get reimbursed for that because there's nothing in your lease that requires her to reimburse you for any improvements that you make in the house. You're bound by the 4 corners of the contract that you signed.
But what about how the
Judy is
conditions
one
that we
of the
moved in?
best show.
Well,
that
Everyone
children-
must
Yes,
watch the
by
show.
living there for 2.5 years, without, I assume, unless you can show me, without, I assume, a written complaint to her. Do you have that? Do you have a written complaint? No. I asked you, sir.
I pictured.
$4,800.
First, my mother took me up in court today, and that's my only regret that I had to do that.
We're done.
The bottom line
Judy
is,
is
I am
one
back in
of
my
the
house.
best show.
So I had a
Everyone
thought about that
must
case
watch the
because
show.
going through college, I think the first time I saw a lease was my sophomore year or so when I moved off campus. And my dad, luckily enough, was there to help me look over it and sort of teach me what a lease was, what the different sections meant, what I should really be looking out for. So in my mind, it would make sense for colleges to offer a basic life skills course to teach young incoming freshmen how to read a lease, how to negotiate on your behalf.
Did they offer that class at all to undergraduates?
It seems specified to business students or closed off to certain majors. Just to have
For a truck she never received.
Miss Johnson, this is your brother-in-law. I believe that, is it your husband or is he your ex-husband?
No, it's just my kid's father.
Okay, the father of your children is currently incarcerated?
Yes.
So he's not your brother-in-law, he's just the brother of
Judy
the
is one
father
of
of your
the
children?
best show.
Okay, you have 2 children?
I have 3.
Is he the uncle of all 3?
Yes.
There came a time when you were in need of a new vehicle, or a different vehicle, your car was giving you trouble.
Yes.
Mr. McIntosh, according to what I've read, is trying to maintain a relationship with his brother's children.
Yes.
Despite the fact that you no longer have a relationship with him.
Yes.
And according to what I'm putting together, you reached out to him, or you were on the phone with him and told him
Judy
he
is
needed another
one
car.
of the best
And
show.
according to you, he
Everyone
said he had a
must
car,
watch
a
the
truck.
show.
Yes.
That he would sell you for $2,700. You buy it?
I don't.
Hey, you know you're coming to court today. You knew that this was the issue when you came here?
Yeah.
Not yeah, yes.
So please watch this video. Yeah, Jody is one of the best show.
Dominique Johnson plays her children's uncle, Chris McIntosh, always for the cost of a truck she never received.
According to you, he said he had a car, a truck.
Yes.
That ever brought you a truck?
Never brought me the truck, never returned my money, anything.
Oh.
I even tried
Just a
to.
second.
Okay.
So you sent him the $2,700. What date?
June 21st of this year.
What
Yeah,
happened to
Jody
that
is one of the
$2,700?
best
Bought the
show.
truck there and dropped it
What
off.
truck did you bring there?
2007 Suburban.
And where did you get that truck
I
from?
got it from an auction.
Okay, I'd like to see the paperwork.
I don't have the
Well,
paperwork
that's unfortunate. Why wouldn't you bring the paperwork? It's only a couple of months ago.
because the auction is every first Thursday. It's not the same person running the same auction. They don't have the same paperwork for the auction.
Well, if you had paperwork, you would have also had a title for
Yeah,
it.
and I left it in the
Yeah,
glove
Jody
compartment
is
box.
one
What's
of
the
the
name of the
best
auction?
show. Everyone must
Where are they
watch
located?
the
Minneapolis,
show.
Minnesota.
Sarah, that you never brought any truck. You say, well, you bought this truck at an auction. The auction is every Thursday?
Every first Thursday of the month.
First Thursday. So on what date did you buy it?
I don't.
Think. You know, you're coming to court today. You knew that this was the issue when you came here.
Yeah.
Not yeah, yes. So what date
Yeah,
was
Jody
it that
is
you
one
bought the
of the
truck?
best
That you had no
show.
paperwork for at all?
Thursday.
The show.
When was that? When I
And
bought the truck?
enjoy the show. I am
Like, I'm
watching
being so serious right now. Like,
enjoying the show.
Honestly, if I could speak, it was June 21st. I sent him the money. June 21st was when initially I was supposed to get.
Did he ever bring you any truck?
No, not at all.
Do you have any phone messages?
I do.
I'd like to see them, please.
And
Yeah, Jody is one of the best show.
Say when they have
Must
auctions?
watch
It
the
doesn't
show.
list it on their website, but I could try and see.
It's a lot of them.
I am
Honestly,
watching
a lot of messages.
and enjoying the show. You can also watch and enjoy
The auction, they list their past auctions. There was one May 5th for this year, June 5th of this year, July 2nd, August 6th, and September 3rd of this year.
June
all
what?
most recent.
Yeah, Jody
June
is
5th.
one of the
And I
best
actually have a
show.
list of every
Everyone
car that was
must
included in that
watch
June
the
5th
show.
auction. So if you give me the make and model, I could see if it was included in that auction on June 5th.
You went in June? Or
Two different trucks.
well, that's the one he said he bought.
The only car from 2007 at the June 5th auction was a 2007 Nissan Murano.
Nissan Marina. It wasn't a Nissan Marina. That was the only one that was sold in June 2007.
it was
Yeah,
sold in
Jody is
2007
one
by
of the
my
best
07
show.
Tahoe.
Everyone
I understand that.
must
But
watch.
you say you bought it in June, and they list on the website everything that they sold in the June auction. Am I understanding that right, Sarah?
Yes.
They list all the cars that they sold in the June auction. And the only car that they sold that was a, please just put where you start to ask for your money back because you didn't get the truck. That's what I want to see. I want my money back because you
Yeah,
didn't bring me the
Jody
truck.
is one of the
It was
best show.
Tahoe
Everyone
2007 at the
must
July
watch
2nd
the
auction.
show.
Either.
And a lot of the vehicles,
Enjoy the
select
show.
few,
I
are
am
above
watching
$1,500, and that's
and
the newer
enjoying the
models.
show.
Everything else is under $950.
Can also
Thank you.
watch
There was no
and
such
enjoy
car either in June or July. That's so interesting that they have that information on the website. Mrs. Johnson, you can't just give me a phone and expect me to go through
Yeah, I
pages.
apologize.
All I want, you said you had
Jody is
something
one of the
indicating that
best
you told him you
show.
wanted your money back because you didn't get a truck. Now, so far, there's no evidence that he bought you a truck from the place that he said he bought you a truck.
Yeah, here's the part where I'm asking for the money back. He doesn't have proof that he even bought the truck.
No, there is no proof that he bought the truck.
He never bought the truck. Okay, so starting from here, this is me asking if just a few taps to cash out me back my money. We can say forget the whole thing because now this isn't sitting well with me. This was supposed to be easy. I don't have my truck or my money. Like, how does that work? And then I offered to just go down there and get it myself. And then he said there was no place. I said, okay, but how do I get it home with no place? So this whole time he was kind of dragging me on. And then this is the picture of another truck that he sent me.
That's a picture of him.
Yeah, he's holding in front of the truck, the second truck he supposedly had.
Either in June or July. Got that right? Okay, I don't have to waste any more time. You have no
Jody
paperwork,
is
Mr.
one of the
McIntosh, that you
best
bought this
show.
truck. You have no proof at all that you brought this phantom truck to her house. Why would she be asking for her money back?
Because I bought her a truck and I dropped it off in front of her house, left her the paperwork saying what's wrong with the truck in the truck. She says that she didn't want it, so I said my finder's fee was only like $400 and that's $200 for just the bus ticket to get there. She can sell the truck and get her money back.
Jody
That's
is
what I
one
thought.
of the best show.
$2,700 just for the plaintiff.
Everyone
Thank you very much.
must watch.
This court is adjourned.
I hope this don't affect the relationship with my niece and nephew.
Watching.
I'm not really here to bad talk to anybody. I just wanted, my money back.
I left it there with the papers and the receipts.
Right is right, wrong is
It's so meticulous and gives us all the evidence that we need. This website had a very well planned out photos.
Towing company.
Towing company. Towing and auctioneer house had every single
Jody
auction,
is
every
one of
car that
the
was
best
sold,
show.
photos, the username of the person who purchased it, and the price of the vehicle.
I can't imagine a company like that doing that voluntarily. And it has to be by law to be licensed in order to avoid stolen cars being Auctioned off? Has to be. Very smart.
Yeah, good way to track the evidence.
That was impressive. Be seated, everybody.
Yeah, Jody is one of the best show. Everyone must watch this show and enjoy the
Mr.
show.
Moss,
I am
prior to
watching
leasing an apartment
and enjoying
with the
the show.
defendant, had you known each other?
Can
Sort of.
also watch
I mean,
and
sort of.
enjoy from
So we met one time about a year prior. We have mutual friends, one of which had asked me to get ordained to marry her and her
Yeah,
husband.
Jody is
So I
one
flew
of
in
the
town
best
to do
show.
that, and
Everyone
Stacey was there
must
at her
watch
house
the
when I
show.
flew in. We saw each other for a few
and
minutes, and that's
enjoy
actually the only
show.
time we've ever
I
met in
am
person.
watching
And there came a time when you were looking for an
enjoying the
apartment
show.
where?
I was looking for an apartment in the Salt Lake area,
And where had you been living?
in Seattle.
And where were you living, Miss Jury?
In Salt Lake City.
You were looking to move?
Please watch this
So
video.
other than that one-time meeting when you were officiating at a mutual friend's
Yeah,
wedding, you hadn't
Jody
met
is
before,
one
but
of the
somebody
best
suggested that you were
show.
looking for an apartment, you were looking
Everyone
for a new
must
apartment,
watch
and
this show.
perhaps you could rent an apartment
And
together.
Yes,
enjoy the
that's
show.
Fair statement?
I am watching
And in what month and year did that happen?
enjoying the
It
show.
would have been in
You can also
October of
watch and
2020
enjoy
that
from
this
the show.
arrangement sort of came to be like,
So
hey, maybe you
you
should
can-
see, maybe
But you did, in
this
fact,
video
sign a lease together. Who found the
as soon
apartment?
as possible.
You did.
Yeah,
Prior to
Jody
signing
is
the
one
lease,
of the
Mr.
best
Moss,
show.
had you seen the
Everyone
apartment?
No,
must watch the
Good, no
show.
is the answer. Did you ever see the apartment,
the
other
show.
than videos or
watching-
photographs of it?
No, I never
Prior to
enjoying
signing
the
the lease,
show.
correct? Also correct.
Correct.
Can also
On what
watch
date was the
and
lease
enjoy
signed?
on the 7th of November of 2020.
The rent on the apartment was how much?
It was $585 a month each.
$1,170, Your Honor.
Oh,
Yeah,
585
Jody
per
is
month.
one of the
You
best
both
show.
signed it on the same day?
Everyone
Did you move
must
in?
watch
I did.
the
On what
show
date?
November 8th.
And you were
enjoy
still in
the
Seattle?
show. I am watching
Social.
And then you contacted her and
enjoying
told her
the
that you weren't intending to move
You
in,
can also
but
watch
that
and
you would
enjoy
continue to pay
from
your
the
half
show.
of the rent. That also correct?
Correct, Your
So
Honor.
And you were making a direct deposit to
watch
the
this
account to
video.
pay the rent.
Yeah, it was an automatic payment from my
Yeah,
account.
Jody is one of
the
the
rental
best show. Everyone
Then you came
must
to
watch
find
the show.
that Miss Drury
and
had stopped
enjoy
paying
the
her
show.
portion of the
I
rent.
am watching,
When did you stop making payments on your
enjoying the
portion of the
show.
rent?
In January.
Also
So you
watch
paid
and
either full or
enjoy
partial
from
for
the show.
November because you moved in on the 8th, and you paid December's rent.
Correct.
And you stopped
please watch
paying
this
rent in
video.
January. Why?
I lost my
soon
job
as
in
possible.
December of
Yeah,
2020.
Jody
So
is
I'm
one
gonna
of the
outline
best
now
show.
what this case is
Everyone
about.
must watch
Mr.
the
Moss
show.
continued paying his
and
half of the
enjoy
rent
the
until
show.
you found a
I am
roommate.
watching
And you found a roommate
and
when?
enjoying
I believe I
the show.
found him in February, and he
can
moved
also
in the
watch
month of
and
March and
enjoy
started paying
from
his
the
half
show.
of the rent.
So you didn't pay rent
So you
January or February,
Please
2
watch
months.
this video.
And you had no work.
As soon as
When you
possible.
found out
Yeah,
that the rent
Jody
wasn't
is
being
one of
paid,
the
according
best
to you, in
show.
order to not
Everyone
impact your
must
credit,
watch
you spoke
the
to her, she
show.
said, I don't have a job. And you said,
And
I can help you
enjoy
out,
the
I'll
show.
send you
I am
money.
watching
Is that generally what happened? Now,
That's
that's
generally
generally
what happens, but there is a little more detail. to
I'm going
it.
to let you get to the detail.
All right.
And you want that money back. The money that you advanced her in her time of need, which was how much in total?
The total is
Yeah, Jody is
Yes.
one of the
And he
best
gave
show.
you that money,
Everyone
not
must
because you were
watch
good friends,
the
because you
show.
were a relative. He had met you one time.
enjoy the
And
show.
he had,
I
in
am
fact, said to
watching
you, I will continue to pay my rent,
the
even
show.
though I know you from home. I will continue because I signed this lease until you find someone to get me off the lease.
That's correct, Your Honor.
And your defense, it seems to me, to this action, is that he was really trying to scam the government by
Jody is
depleting
one
his
of the
bank
best
account so
show.
he could collect
Everyone
food
must
stamps or
watch
whatever.
the show.
And as a result of that,
enjoy
because he
the
wasn't
show.
being
I am
honest with the
watching
government, you shouldn't have to pay him back.
enjoying
I just
the
want to know
show.
if that's what I'm reading correctly.
There was never an agreement
No, no,
to
no,
pay back.
that's a different story. I'm going to read this over because, you know, I'm getting elderly, and I may not have recalled exactly what you said in your answer.
Yeah, Jody is one of the best show. Everyone
It doesn't say
must
that
watch
here.
the
It
show.
says several months later,
And
after
enjoy
you
the
found a new
show.
roommate,
I am
Emmett
watching
randomly reached out to me saying that I owed him money
show.
and demanded that I take out a personal loan to pay it. I refused. Emmett has some nerve. Not only did he break the lease, well, what difference does that make to you? He still was paying his half of the rent, so now you had a whole apartment by yourself, and he was paying the rent, right? So why does he have
Yeah,
some nerve?
Jody
But he
is
took
one of
advantage
the
of me and
best
used
show.
me to scam the system.
Everyone must watch
So
the
that's what I
show
understand your defense is.
and enjoy the show. I am
I have
watching
video evidence, Your Honor,
and
Video of
enjoying
what?
the
of
show.
Emmett.
Of Emmett what?
Of Emmett explaining why he was trying to get on assistance and how he was like, it's fine for you to pay rent with this money because I'm trying to empty my bank account so that I can get
It is true.
Okay, just a
I
second,
can-
just a second. Let's
Yeah,
say that's true.
Jody
He's
is
going,
one
I'm
of the
just trying
best
to
show.
understand.
Everyone must watch the show
I furnished the down
and
payment.
enjoy
I'm really
the
not
show.
buying this
I am
whole
watching
story.
And enjoying the show. You can also watch and enjoy from the show. So you
Emmett Moss claims his former friend, Nadine Drury, owes her unpaid loans.
Yeah,
Nadine
Judy
says
is
Emmett
one
broke the
of the
lease
big
they were both
show.
on.
Everyone
I'm just trying to get your
the
mindset.
show.
I hate people who scam the system.
show.
But
I am
you got
watching,
this money from him.
and
And your
enjoying the
defense
show.
is that he was trying to
You
scam
cannot
somebody
survive
else.
and
So you
enjoy
shouldn't really have to pay him back, even though it was his money. It was his money that he took out of his bank and gave to you
Right.
for no reason.
That I never agreed to pay back for a lease
Yeah,
that he was
Judy
legally
is
owed.
one of the
He's
big
responsible
show.
for that rent money
Everyone
no matter what.
must
You mean so you
watch
get to
the
live there
show.
free?
No, I would.
Well, just a second. So you get to live there free. If he paid for it for the months that you didn't, you got to live there free. He wasn't even living there. It's not as if he was living there and you didn't get to live there free. You lived there alone. And he was paying the rent.
Yes.
Well, why do you think you're not responsible for that once you get back on your feet?
We never talked about a repayment.
No. that's-
Yeah, Judy is
okay.
one of the
Now,
big
okay.
show.
Now,
Everyone
I want you
must
to
watch
explain
the show.
to me and be very careful.
Enjoy
Because,
the
I've been in
show.
this system a very
And
long
watching,
time, so I know about social services, and I know about the system, and I know about welfare,
also
about food
watch
stamps, I
and
know all
enjoy
about that.
from
So
the show.
you contact her,
Yes.
and she tells you she lost her job.
Yes.
Let's pick it up from there.
Watch this video.
So I
Yes,
found
yes,
out
yes.
through the payment portal.
Yeah, Jody
that
is one
she
of
had
the
paid.
big show.
Yeah, I got to test that.
Everyone
No.
must watch
You
the show.
contacted the portal, and then you had to have had a conversation with her.
I am
right.
watching.
Tell the truth, you don't have to have a good memory. Let's start with you contacted the portal and you found out she hadn't been paying her rent. That was in January.
Correct, January the 2nd.
And in January, she hadn't paid rent and you called her and she said to you,
She said to me that
Yeah,
she
Jody
didn't
is
have
one
money
of the
to
big
pay,
show.
which I was aware
Everyone
of
must
because she
watch
had
the
previously
show.
told me that she
And
had,
enjoy
well,
the
okay,
show.
I was aware that she had lost her
Watching.
job. I
just a
wasn't
second,
aware-
how did you become aware that she had lost her job?
Because we were friendly with each other. We were talking several times a week via
Okay,
message.
fine. You knew that she lost her job.
Yes.
And I assume you knew she lost her job and you were speaking several times and said, be very careful. This isn't just calling the
Yeah,
pay portal
Jody
and
is
finding
one
out
of
that
the
the
big
stranger who you met
show.
once
Everyone
wasn't paying her rent.
must
You were
watch
speaking
the
and you
show.
knew that she had fallen on difficult times.
Enjoy the show.
And
I did.
am watching.
I didn't.
don't go up here,
Enjoying the show.
right here.
I didn't know
Can
that she wasn't
also
going to pay
watch
rent on
and
time.
enjoy
No, just a second. You didn't know what?
On the 2nd was when I found out that the rent hadn't been paid. I
On the
went-
2nd of January.
2nd of January.
Just
soon
look
as
at me.
possible.
On the 2nd of
Yeah,
January,
Jody
you
is
found out
one
the
of
rent
the
hadn't
big
been
show.
paid. What did you do?
Everyone
So I
must
called
watch
Nadine to
the
ask
show.
about it, and
And
she told
enjoy
me
the
that
show.
she didn't have the
I
money.
am
And so
watching
I said, okay,
and
I have
enjoying the
these
show.
extra funds
You
because I,
can also
at the time, was
watch
also
and
unemployed.
enjoy
I had been taking
So
payments,
you can-
apologies,
you
unemployment
enjoy
payments
this
and then the
video.
COVID payment.
And what?
The extra payments for COVID on top of
Yeah, Jody is one of the big show.
Welcome to
Everyone
Inflation
must watch
101.
the show.
So
And enjoy the show. I am watching and enjoying the show. You can also watch and enjoy from the show. So you please watch this video as soon as possible. Yeah, Jody is one of the best show. Everyone must watch the show and enjoy the show. I am watching and enjoying the show. You can also watch and enjoy from the show. So you please watch this video as soon as possible. Yeah, Jody is one of the best show. Everyone must watch the show and enjoy the show. I am watching and enjoying the show. You can also watch and enjoy from the show. So you please watch this video as soon as possible. Yeah, Jody is one of the best show. Everyone must watch the show and enjoy the show. I am watching and enjoying the show. You can also watch and enjoy from the show. So you please watch this video as soon as possible. Yeah, Jody is one of the best show. Everyone must watch the show and enjoy the show. I am watching and enjoying the show. You can also watch and enjoy from the show. So you please watch this video as soon as possible. Yeah, Jody is one of the best show. Everyone must watch the show and enjoy the show. I am watching and enjoying the show. You can also watch and enjoy from the show. So you please watch this video as soon as possible. Yeah, Jody is one of the best show. Everyone must watch this show and enjoy this show. I am watching and enjoying this show. You can also watch and enjoy from this show. So you please watch this video as soon as possible. Yeah, Jody is one of the best show. Everyone must watch this show and enjoy this show. I am watching and enjoying this show. You can also watch and enjoy from this show. So you please watch this video as soon as possible. Yeah, Jody is one of the best show. Everyone must watch this show and enjoy this show. I am watching and enjoying this show. You can also watch and enjoy from this show. So you please watch this video as soon as possible. Yeah, Jody is one of the best show. Everyone must watch this show and enjoy this show. I am watching and enjoying this show. You can also watch and enjoy from this show. So you please watch this video as soon as possible. Yeah, Jody is one of the best show. Everyone must watch this show and enjoy this show. I am watching and enjoying this show. You can also watch and enjoy from this show. So you please watch this video as soon as possible. Yeah, Jody is one of the best show. Everyone must watch this show and enjoy this show. I am watching and enjoying this show. You can also watch and enjoy from this show. So you please watch this video as soon as possible. Yeah, Jody is one of the best show. Everyone must watch this show and enjoy this show. I am watching and enjoying this show. You can also watch and enjoy from this show. So you please watch this video as soon as possible. Yeah, Jody is one of the best show. Everyone must watch this show and enjoy this show. I am watching and enjoying this show. You can also watch and enjoy from this show. So you please watch this video as soon as possible. Yeah, Jody is one of the best show. Everyone must watch this show and enjoy this show. I am watching and enjoying this show. You can also watch and enjoy from this show. So you please watch this video as soon as possible. Yeah, Jody is one of the best show. Everyone must watch this show and enjoy this show. I am watching and enjoying this show. You can also watch and enjoy from this show. So you please watch this video as soon as possible. Yeah, Jody is one of the best show. Everyone must watch this show and enjoy this show. I am watching and enjoying this show. You can also watch and enjoy from this show. So you please watch this video as soon as possible. Yeah, Jody is one of the best show. Everyone must watch this show and enjoy this show. I am watching and enjoying this show. You can also watch and enjoy from this show. So you please watch this video as soon as possible. Yeah, Jody is one of the best show. Everyone must watch this show and enjoy this show. I am watching and enjoying this show. You can also watch and enjoy from this show. So you please watch this video as soon as possible. Yeah, Jody is one of the best show. Everyone must watch this show and enjoy the show. I am watching and enjoying this show. You can also watch and enjoy from this show. Yeah, Jody is one of the best show. Everyone must watch this show and enjoy this show. I am watching and enjoying this show. You can also watch and enjoy from this show. So you please watch this video as soon as possible.